Hi, I'm Jules Ellum, and today's topic is a little bit controversial. So, I have had conversations with quite a few, generally it's guys. I have had it with a couple of women, but generally it's guys in business. And basically they've gone, oh my goodness, I'm making so much money. My partner, my wife, has all these obligations with the kids, and it'd be really great now that I'm making so much extra money in my business that I could start paying her a wage. She's starting to help me with the books and help me with some admin and everything. It'd be really great if I could bring her into the business and also pay her a really good wage. Now, on paper that sounds really good. It also means that, you're helping to provide for your family financially, and you're also bringing some money in, like extra money into your household, so that it makes things a little bit easier. And, your wife doesn't have to go to work all the time, but still earn good money. I'm going to now talk to you from a human perspective and from a woman that's been in relationships and have seen how this pans out and can pan out without the big conversation, like the conversation of the elephant in the room. And this might be really controversial, but it's a human part of being in business. If you take away your wife's financial independence by giving her work, giving her income from your business, how does that feel? Does that turn you into feeling like, well, I'm making all this money and I have all these extra entitlements and all these rights and all of that? Or are you actually looking at it as a partnership and we're in this together? Because oftentimes I see, from an accountant perspective, as well as like a woman who's been in relationships perspective, that the moment that happens, something dies in the woman. And it's oftentimes the thing that really attracted you to her in the first place. And that thing that is dying within her is her sense of independence, and it's her sense of autonomy, and it's that sense of strength and power that she has within her that has made her so incredibly attractive to you in the first place. And when you go, oh, this is great because it's a good tax solution, I get to get more money into my family, and that makes sense, right? But if you don't work on the dynamic, and if you also don't focus on how you can continue to encourage your wife to have that level of independence and that financial security, and not being tied to you from a financial perspective, as well as having your children, then it's a fast track to divorce. And I've seen it over and over and over, and I just feel like I need to have this conversation. So if you're thinking about doing this in your business, or if your husband is suggesting it in your business, I would like for you to ask a few questions and start putting some really strong boundaries in place. One of those questions is, well, how do I maintain my independence, and how are we going to work as a family so that I don't feel guilty for spending the money, or I don't feel guilty if I have to stay at home and work with the kids and you need me in the office? How do I navigate that, right? Because that's going to come up. The other question I want for you to ask is, well, what happens if it doesn't work? Are we going to do this as a trial period? Are we going to give it 6 months? I don't know if I can work with you and also be your partner. That's two different that's two different roles. How are we going to manage that? And then the third thing is, how are we going to be present as a family when we come home from work and we've also come home from work that's the same place. So how are we going to manage that? So those are my 3 questions for you. And if you want to have a strategic call with me to go through all of this, then definitely reach out and I'd be happy to have a chat with you.